Welcome to this last video of your goal setting process. Now, everything that you have done so far has led up to this point. There are three pieces of pre-work that I'm going to ask you to do before the actual goal setting process. Pre-work number one refers to references. What's a reference? A reference is an experience in your life, and based on that experience, you then have an idea of what to expect. The more references that you have, the more options that you can take in life. The less references that you have in your life, the more limited your choices will be. So exercise number one is to write down 5 of the most powerful experiences that you've had in your life so far. What has been the most powerful reference points in your life? And because of those reference points, it allowed you to completely shift your thinking, the course of action, and the direction in which your life took. Part 2 of this exercise, in order to really succeed at the highest level between now and 6 months to a year, year and a half, depending on how long your goal is going to take to achieve, you need new references. So part 2 of this exercise is to ask yourself, what are references or experiences that you need to seek out in the future? And based on those experiences, it's going to help you shift and completely change the direction of your life. Do this part of pre-work number one, and then you can get to pre-work number two. Pre-work number two is all about having gratitude. You see, a goal setting process is very left brain thinking. It's very rational. It's logical. So before you enter a goal setting process, what is needed is for you to get into a state of gratitude. And you do that by getting out a pen and paper and writing down everything that you are grateful and appreciative of in your life. Write down the big things, the small things, the stuff that happened years ago, the stuff that happened recently, the stuff that's still maintaining and keeping you going, whether it's people, it's things around you, it's opportunities around you, it's whatever it is, just write it down. There's no time limit for this. It's just to get to a sense of fulfillment that you have written down everything that you need to write. And by the way, you heard me right. I said write it down, pen and paper. There's something magical that happens when you think of something, and that connection happens with your hand that's connected to the pen, that's connected to the paper, and you physically see your thoughts on a page versus typing it out on a Word document. So for now, write this out in a journal. That's pre-work number two. Be grateful for what you have in a life and open up your heart to the goal setting process and complete that exercise until you get to a state of gratitude and a state of acceptance that whatever has happened or has not happened, your life is perfect as it is right now. That's pre-work number two. Pre-work number three is about unlocking your potential. And for this, I have 7 questions for you. Question number one. Imagine you have this inborn ability to achieve any goal you could ever set for yourself. What is it that you would like to be, do, and have? Write that down. Question number two. Identify all these activities that give you your highest sense of meaning and purpose in your life. What can you do to have more of these activities? Write that down. Question number three. I want you to look at your personal and your work life today and identify how your thinking in the past has created the life or the world that you are living right now. What should or could you change? Write that down. Question number 4. Resolve today, make a decision today to think and only talk about the things that you are seeking to achieve in your life. And make a decision today to stop blaming, making excuses, and justifying, and playing victim to everything that's happening around you. Because when you resolve to talk and think about the things that you are seeking out, that idea grows in your mind. What you focus on expands. Step number 5. Determine what you are willing to do in order to achieve these goals. What is the ultimate embarrassment, if it involves you being embarrassed in some way, that you are willing to take and put up with in order to achieve your goal? And I say embarrassment because some people would like to speak in public, so the embarrassment is having a few failed speeches as an example. So what are you willing to put up with in order to achieve your goal? Write that down. And question number 6. Imagine you are absolutely guaranteed of success in achieving your goals, and you had no fears. What goals would you achieve? And I want you to write down 10 goals that you would like to achieve. Now, once you have completed this step, then comes the actual step number 7, which is the actual goal setting process. And I'm about to take you through that now. But first, pause this video and write down your 10 goals that you would like to achieve. Take your time with this, and when you're ready, press the play button again and continue watching. So, I'm hoping that by now you have written down your 10 goals. Step number 7 is the actual goal setting process. So I'm going to take you through each level individually. I want you to look at your 10 goals that you have written for yourself. And I want you to ring the one goal that if you achieve that one goal, it'll make the biggest difference in your life. And that's the one goal that I want to work with you with. Now, take that one goal and rewrite it in a way that a 6-year-old child can understand it. Use simple language, use easy words. And why do I say a 6-year-old child? Because your brain is like a 6-year-old child. So avoid using flowery language or very confusing words. Write your goal out in a simple way. Next, if you want this goal so badly, why have you not achieved this so far? So I want you to write down all the excuses that you have made in the past in not being able to achieve this goal. And then I want you to write, I am no longer willing to accept my excuses because, and put down your reason for no longer accepting your excuses. Now I want you to set a deadline for this goal, and the deadline needs to make sense for you realistically. Just listen to your intuition. What is your intuition guiding you to say? Because that deadline is what you write down. I now want you to think of all the separate actions that needs to take place in order for you to achieve this goal. Sequence these actions and put milestones in place. So after a series of actions, you achieve a certain milestone. So maybe after a series of actions like completing a module, you are able to have a milestone of passing an examination. That would be a milestone. When you achieve that milestone, what reward will you give to yourself? So I want you to break down the goal into separate actions and separating the actions into a sequence and putting in a milestone and a reward for once you have achieved that milestone. Next, I want you to think of any obstacles or limitations that might hold you back from achieving this goal. What you can do now to avoid those obstacles or limitations taking place. I want you to think of putting plans in place to avoiding this thing happening. Write that down. And then Simply to get you started on this goal, I want you to think of one action that you can take today, once you've completed this exercise, to get you moving towards this goal. Any small action, even if it means making a phone call to someone or doing some research on a topic or speaking to someone who might be able to refer you to someone else. Just a simple action that will get you moving towards achieving this goal, because momentum is what will drive this goal becoming a reality. Then I want you to write down 3 actions that you can take in the next 7 days, which is a week, in order to move even further with this goal. Then I want you to consider what actions you can take in the next month to keep you moving forward on the goal. If your goal is more than 3 months, ask yourself what actions you can take in the next 3 months to move you even further on your goal. If your goal is more than 6 months, put down actions to be achieved by 6 months. And if your goal is between 9 months to a year, ask yourself what actions you need to take at month number 9 and month number 12. You see, when you put your goal in place like this, you're putting a plan in place and you are signaling to your brain the separate steps that is needed in order to get you to your goal. So the more information and detail that you put in, the more you are able to guide your inner voice, your inner being. And whatever you put in here, it's a start. So once you have conducted the research, you can always come back and add more actions as you gain more insight and create more awareness as to what that goal entails. And finally, it's about taking action. So once you have completed this exercise, go out and do that one action that you said that you will do today. This completes the 10-part series in this goal setting process. And you can watch these videos ongoing, and you have written 10 goals for yourself. So the next time you want to do this exercise again, do the same process on another goal. And it's basically a cycle of creating a process of breaking down your big goal. I have enjoyed sharing my insights with you. Get in touch with me if you need more help with setting your goals, or if you just want to tell me how things are going. I'd love to hear from you. All the best to you and your goal setting process. Keep well.